Hi, my name is Dick Jones. A few years back, the Livermore Heritage Guild, who were looking for a dinner speaker, invited me to come and make a presentation for them. It's not what I do, but I thought, well, why not? Give it a shot. So while I was making the presentation, one of the people in the audience was a Pleasant Partners in Education. Anyway, they had me come and talk at some of the middle schools about career choices and so on. And since then, we've done Sons in Retirement, Rotary, flying clubs, retirement homes, a lot of them. Anyway, I decided to go ahead and put this on a video for those of you who couldn't come. You can see it on video. Anyway, we'll start out with a little bit about who I am, some basic information, and then a video and a slideshow. This will be too far away for you to read, but over the years, I've been a bartender, a welder, mechanic, tow truck driver, a videographer. I worked for Sandia Laboratories for 40 plus years. I've had an aerial photography business for over 40 years, done some web page, classic home repair, and done some TV commercials. Anyway, let's take a look at what we've got here. I still own rjaerial photography. I still make presentations, though not as many. I have retired from Sandia. I pretty much now golf on Mondays and Fridays. I've done 6 books. I'm working on 2 more. Not just an aerial photographer, but I love to take pictures of kids and grandkids and everything else. A lot of cameras, a little over 100,000 pictures, probably a couple thousand videos. A lot of the pictures you're going to see here were scanned from contacts, so they won't be quite as good. This will be a short thing of my TV commercials. I've done a lot of them, but these are just 3.
Financial advisor, Dr. Henry here about a comfortable retirement.
Henry recommended us to his brother, Bob, who told his son, Ed, and Ed told cousin Ruth, and, well, you get the idea. Did all their plans work out? Well, we are now recommended by 3 generations of Henry's family. If you'd like to get advice from an American Express financial advisor, call 1-800-GET-ADVICE.
You see, in furniture design, you have to stay connected to the world.
Furniture is an extension of the people who sit on it.
So I use Pointcast. I get personalized world and business news broadcast straight to my screen over the internet. And occasionally, a little inspiration. Yes, fish.
Hey, honey! This new fish tank chair is just wonderful!
Presto, read the Communist Manifesto, gorillas in the midst of Guevara and Ernesto, so
what a brother with an afro now.
Yo, know a flow for the Mac, and we the hoes so grow, cause the Lucian brothers might get hung. Rhetoric flowing from the tip of my mouth, say tongue deficit,
Money spit,
catch the glint.
Oh my nine, as they cut welfare.
It's got my private, commercial, instrument, and multi-engine. That's our 182, that's the Archer. I met a guy named Steve Radcliffe. He's a mechanic, he's a flight instructor, does pretty much everything, and he and I became pretty good friends. Those aerial pictures you see around him are mine. He and I fly a lot together. I don't think he does now, but he used to do ballroom dancing. Very, very exciting person, a lot of fun to be around. And you can tell by his hat, he has a lot of fun. This is Hugh Gallion. He's retired FBI, used to own his own airplane, sings the national anthem at the Oakland A's, does sports over stuff for TV. Anyway, fun guy to be around. We love to golf together. This is the inside of the airplane. You notice all the instruments. Got the yoke in front, the instruments, and then there's another yoke on the other side so you can fly the airplane from either the left or the right, and you can do your instructions from there. This particular shot was 3,000 feet, wings level. We got Livermore dialed in, and when you look out the front window, there's Mount Diablo in the background. We're getting ready to come into Livermore and land. A lot of cameras, got more than this. I've still got my 4x5. Got rid of my 5x7, but Pentax 6x7, did a lot with that. Digital, shoot a lot of digital. Also do a lot of fun stuff. That's my 1967 GTO convertible. If you look up in the upper left, you'll see that that picture was taken in 1972 in the parade. I've been in the parade now. Still got the same car, got the same wife, over 50 years. In fact, I'll be in the parade again this year. So it'll be about 13, 14 times I've been in the parade. Nice car, fun to have. That's when I had my ski boat. That was in the parade. I pulled it. What's really nice, you can't lose. If you got a convertible, you got a boat, and you got girls in bikinis, they're going to be looking at something there. There's the picture. The car was taken a couple of years ago out in the grassy field. Still looks the same. Then I had a chance to buy another car. I looked quite a while before I bought it, but you tell me, would you buy it? Yeah, I bought it. 57 Chevy Bel Air hardtop. I just sold it last year, bought a Ford Mustang convertible, got rid of that one too. So keep moving around, having fun. Classic cars are great. We did some work over at the San Francisco airport when the Blue Angels were in town. They took our picture by them. That was a lot of fun. This is the Cessna 310. I got my multi-engine rating in that. I'm going to make a quick comment about Katrina Mumma. There's a company called Air Combat USA. They go around to all the local airports. If you pay, I don't know, $700, $800, you can go fly with them and actually do combat. Katrina Mumma actually went up against a couple Air Force pilots, beat them both, went up against a Navy pilot, beat one of them, and then against all the other ones, she had 143 victories. And then she went to Russia, get into a military jet, and broke the sound barrier. And so I show this one because a lot of people wonder, you know, how old do you have to be to do all this kind of stuff, especially flying? Well, it turns out Katrina was only 11 years old when she did this and went on to the Air Force Academy. So don't let age stop you. You can do pretty much anything you like as long as you've just got the energy to go for it. Kind of self-explanatory. The Fuji blimp was at the Hayward Airport, and I had been invited to go flying with them. So my rule is never turn down an opportunity, so I went flying with them. Got Porsche twin turbos on it. You can tilt them 270 degrees, and it only flies about 60, 70 knots, so it's not fast, but it's like steering a big balloon through the air. And our buddies, the Goodyear blimp, were out. This is over Hayward. We're heading for San Francisco. And you can see they let everybody in there fly it, so I got to fly it, got to log the time. Of course, it looks like I have a death grip on the yoke, but it's not going anywhere. The guy who's flying in the pilot seat is King from King Radios. He was getting a checkout flight in that. He and his wife flew their private jet in to go for this flight. And the old Candlestick Park. We're descending back into Hayward to land. If you look closer, you can see where we're going to land, right out there on that pad. And you can also see there's a jet taking off, so it's a very busy, active airport. It's kind of interesting how they stop this thing. If you watch closely, you'll see the people run out and grab the ropes and stop it. Then I worked for Sandia Laboratories for 40 years. For about 9 years we flew unmanned airplanes all over the world for weather studies.
The
States Office of Science established the ARM UAV program in 1993 to develop airborne instruments and measurement techniques to improve understanding of clouds and their interaction with solar and thermal energy. To accomplish this goal, the ARM UAV program has prepared and flown payloads on a variety of remotely operated and piloted aircraft in 11 major flight campaigns. Although the primary objective of ARM UAV is developing and using the capabilities of unmanned aerospace vehicles, or UAVs, in selected cases the program has flown piloted aircraft as surrogates for UAVs. The Fall 2004 flight series was the second deployment using the scaled composites Proteus, a high-altitude, long-endurance aircraft. This flight series was the second in a 3-deployment grand tour of DOE climate facilities. The first deployment in this series was conducted in 2002 at the DOE Southern Great Plains facility in Oklahoma. The 2004 deployment was conducted at the North Slope of Alaska as part of the mixed-phase Arctic cloud experiment. The third deployment in this series will be conducted in the tropical Western Pacific with Proteus based in...
This guy is Doug Hansen, retired Air Force pilot. He built his airplane himself, and we're going to go do some formation flying with him and his friend.
All right, airborne at 48.
We're departing Livermore, then we're going to go meet out over the Delta.
So you'll see him give me a cross-under signal, which is the dip of the wing. Whoop, there it is. And I slip down real slowly over, and I'm not quite far enough back. There we go. And then come up into the same position on the right wing. Just like that. There we go. That was a better crossover. Okay, there he is straight in front of us. Right there. 12 o'clock. Going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Yeehaw. Now, if you don't have him now, I don't know what the problem is. I got him. And he's dead.
Camera weighs 20 pounds.
3 Gs. Now, he goes faster than I was going down because he's heavier. Now, you're going to lose him because he's way above, but I'll get him in a minute. There we go. Okay, he should be 12 o'clock.
Got him.
And we'll just pop right up on his wing here. So we get level with him. And now I'm using the runway and him to fly formation. And we're centered in the right side. He's got us perfectly centered.
300 feet over Del Valle Dam, inbound with Romeo, full stop.
Oh, just a little bit of a bounce.
Pattern, Cessna Warrior. 616 right in, for 2 mile right base, or 2 mile left base, 25 left, looking for the traffic.
And when we've got things under control, we're going to go over directly behind him.
This is Jackie Warda. She flies acrobatics all over the world. So we put GoPros on the tail, on the wing, and in the cockpit, and went out over Mount Diablo so we could do a little practice. Kind of interesting having a parachute because there's no way in the world I would know how to use it. If it caught fire, I'm riding it down. We did a few simple aileron rolls and stuff like that for me. And then when she starts to get serious, then I get out and let her do it on her own. I can only handle so many G's. And this is what she does as part of her air show. I'm glad I'm not in there. What you saw was a collage of a lot of short videos. I have the full-length videos. For instance, the blimp one was probably an hour long. So those are all on my website. You can always do a search on rjaerial and you'll find the videos on Vimeo and the pictures on SmugMug, etc. Now we're just looking at some aerial pictures. This is one of the first aerial pictures I ever did. It was a gas fire over in Stockton. Red Adair came in to put it out. I had the door off the airplane, almost singed my eyebrows because we got down so low. I do a lot of pictures before and after. This is Stone Ridge Mall in Pleasanton before they got it completely built. There's what it looks like afterwards. That's the whole Livermore Valley looking over 580, 680. That's the airport way back in 1982, Livermore Airport. It's only got one runway. You notice there's not much out there. This is much later. You know, there's two runways now and they built all around it and the college is in. Back there's the college when they were first getting started at Las Positas. And it's even more than this now. There's houses all around and everything. That was in 5, so that's 13 years ago. I have not updated the pictures. Well, I did update a little bit. There's some houses and stuff now. Del Val Lake. It's interesting how it looks different depending on the time of the year. If it's a super clear day, it looks blue. That was in 95. Probably got a lot of pictures. That's the VA hospital out by Wente. Great place to take pictures because it's really a pretty sight. There's Mount Diablo with fog on it, and then Mount Diablo with snow around it. Then we'll do a few slides around the area. There's the Bixby Bridge over on the ocean, one of the most photographed places around. Sea Ray Boat Club out on the Delta. They usually go out there on the holidays, so I get the aerial pictures for them. Golden Gate Bridge, 50th anniversary. 300,000 people on the bridge, no cars. It was the last time they allowed that many on there. The bridge was starting to bend a little bit. They weren't real happy, so every time they've done it since, they don't allow cars on there. I flew around there for about 3 hours. This is on the north end, south end, and this is the start where they first go through the toll booth. You notice there's a lot of people there. And it's kind of an interesting picture. Downtown San Francisco, I shot pictures for 20 years for Taco Bell. And believe it or not, right in there somewhere is a Taco Bell. This was down on the Monterey coast. I'm giving you just a variety of shots so you can see a lot of the stuff we get to see. This is Proteus. It's a piloted airplane. Burt Rutan was using it. We were doing global warming studies. And so pretty much all those instruments that are on the base there, out on the wings, up in the top up there, are all for looking at global warming. Radiometers and just pretty much every kind of instrument you can think of. we flew this guy all over. It was in Australia, it was in Oklahoma, Hawaii. It was nice. I got to go to Hawaii while we did this. As my buddy Steve was flying by the Golden Gate Bridge, I saw him, so I grabbed a shot of him. And John Ewens was flying 10 Victor, which plane that we used to have in the club. Caught him on the way back from Ukiah. I was already going somewhere else and heard him on the radio, so brought him in close, shot his picture. Then you saw we were flying in this airplane. That's Doug. And his, another shot of it. And then his buddy showed up. They had gone to the Oshkosh Air Show and won first and second place there. And they were doing a little formation flying. And this is how close we got when we were doing the formation flying. This is the Pitts S2A that Jackie flew. It ended up getting crashed, and so that's when she moved on and went to her next plane, which is a name escapes me now, but you can find it on the internet. We first took pictures when it was red. Didn't have all the little colorful stuff on it. She saw the pictures, didn't like it, so she took it back in and had it painted and went back out and shot it again. There's probably 200 or 300 pictures of every one of these. You're just looking at a couple I chose. Another buddy of mine, he works at Lawrence Lab. This is his airplane, Christian Eagle. And this is an unmanned airplane, Altus. They were using it for fire. Flat over forest fires. It's got a big camera on it, so you can do everything without worrying about killing the pilot, because there's no pilot. There he is. They're doing some calibrations on the instruments on that one. This is down in Mojave. This is the island on Kauai. This is the Pacific Missile Range. When we were doing global warming, this is the Department of Energy's Twin Otter. I would fly in this one. We'd fly for about 4 hours, and that's a helicopter. We shot video and cameras and stills out of the helicopter of everything we did. Sometimes the door's off, sometimes the door's on. And there I am with cameras on both arms and the door's off. Got a belt on, so if you fall out, you'll only fall 15 feet, which is a little tricky when you bring the helicopter into land, because you're hanging 15 feet below the helicopter. And this is the unmanned airplane, Altus, that we were flying. We've had him up at 45,000 feet, I believe it was, for like 26 hours. Some sort of a record. He's unmanned. So we're flying along with him, doing video, and then matching. He'll be above us, we'll below him, with matching GPSs. And that's our crew. You see the helicopter in the back, the Otter on the left, and Altus behind us. Group of scientists and engineers from all over across the United States. And this one, let's see, Predator. Yeah, Predator B. They were flying Predator B. We were going to use it for weather studies. So I went down there to take some pictures and stuff of it. Just happened to be that I shot the pictures over the Mojave Desert. Well, they sold it to the CIA. They put Hellfire missiles on it, took it to Afghanistan, and shot the Al-Qaeda guys. And then Aviation Week called me, said, "Do you have any pictures? We have no pictures of this plane." I said, "Yes, I do." They said, "Can you send them to us?" I said, "I sure can." They said, "Does it look like it's over Afghanistan?" I said, "Well, it's over Mojave. That looks like Afghanistan." And they ran it on the cover of Aviation Week. So a lot of my pictures have been all over the world in magazines and so on. This is Hearst Castle. I was flying by. It just looked like a big ranch to me. Shot some close-ups, swimming pool. Shot probably 200 or 300 pictures of this, but you'll only see 2 or 3. Emerald Cove up in Tahoe. There was a guy swimming the length of Tahoe, so we went up there to take pictures of him. Shot this while we were there. The Pali Coastline, where they filmed Raiders of the Lost Ark. And off the coast of San Francisco, can't remember the name of these things offhand. A little embarrassing, sorry. Oh well, it'll come to me after I'm all done. Hindu, the Odeon, north coast of California. You have to be Hindu to go in there, or be a pilot and see it from the air. And that's Half Moon Bay. When we're bored, we fly over there for lunch. Come in from the south, land, taxi down to the very end, walk through a gate, and go down to, in fact, you'll see it there on the right. There's a restaurant there called Barbara's Fish Trap. And so you can see we can taxi all the way down. There's only about a quarter mile down to the restaurant. There it is, Barbara's Fish Trap. Great fish and chips and clam chowder. This is a runway up at the lake. I used to fly by. I had friends of mine who had a boat up there, so I'd buzz the lake. They'd see me. I'd go land on this dirt strip with my water ski. We'd go water ski all day, get back in the airplane, fly back to Livermore. This is flying in by Ukiah, Lake Pillsbury, I think. A gravel strip. Planes don't go in there except to get water to fight fires. Except us, we did. That's a road going across the south end there. When you're landing toward a mountain, so you got to make your landing land, because it's tough to make a go-around. You got to watch out for traffic while you're coming in, because they're not looking up to see a plane coming in. And you can see it's gravel. And when you park, you can go down, go fishing if you want, whatever. Now we're going to fly up into Yosemite. This is on the way up to run Mariposa, I think it is. So land there, got some fuel, take back off. Probably got 2,000 or 3,000 photos of the Sierras. Yosemite Valley, got at least 2,000 or 3,000 photos of Yosemite Valley. This will just be a few for you to look at. Shot at all different times of the year. Great photography site. Waterfalls were full on this one. Different time of the year. There's again and again. A little closer. And it's behind Half Dome looking down the valley. And looking at Half Dome when there was snow. And from the ground. And from the ground. This is Mono Lake. We were flying up there because it was a super clear day at like 150 miles visibility. We had to call them on the radio to come out and scrape the runway because we couldn't land. So they scraped the runway for us. So we landed, went in town, had lunch, got back in, took off, and shot this picture. You'd never see it this clear up there. I ran out of film. I liked the view, so I flew down to Mammoth Mountain, got a rental car, drove in town, found the local photographer, bought all his film, got back in, flew back up here, shot another 200 pictures plus, including more of Yosemite. Just the Golden Gate. Love the Golden Gate. This got used in a magazine. This is Los Vaqueros Reservoir. I shot it when it was brown, and I shot it when it was green, and it ended up, some of the newspapers heard I had it, and ended up on the cover of the Valley Times in color and the Tri-Valley Herald. They had actually held up their thing so they could put it on in the pictures in color. All the wildflowers were showing up in the hills. I didn't have an airplane. I saw this guy out there at the airport, so I grabbed him. I said, "Can you take me flying?" He said, "Sure, come on." So this is like 60 horsepower engine, and we took off. Went out, and you can see all the yellow wildflowers in the hills. And some poppies. I didn't want to miss this picture because it shows how beautiful it is that time of the year. Anyway, we're only flying 60 knots, 70 knots, pretty slow. Happiness is oil pressure when you're flying a tail dragger. That orange down there are poppies. And coming back in by Del Valle Lake. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is still Los Vaqueros Reservoir. Sorry. And more wildflowers. Already. There's the VA hospital. Depending on the time of the year, it's really pretty out there. See how blue it is? And this has not been photoshopped. It was that clear and pretty out there. And some more wildflowers. And then I put in a few ground shots. I was in Hawaii, so I shot these. I actually made a book of these. I'm up to 7 books now. 2 aerial photography books, 1 poetry book, a book on the balloon festival in Albuquerque, and another book on my favorite shots. Anyway, you can see all these pictures on my website. This was the church on the south end of the island. It's where somebody famous is buried. Can't remember the name offhand. Very narrow road around Hana. Great drive. Little narrow. We took a van. I trusted him more than I trusted me in a rental car trying to sightsee and drive. We had a wedding anniversary or something. The kids kind of decorated our house. I just threw it in their show. We got good kids. They take good care of us. And then the Centennial bulb. Longest burning light bulb in the world. It's now up to 117 years. I heard about it kind of at the last minute. My buddy Steve Bunn put up a website on it. I shot a whole bunch of pictures. We decided we ought to celebrate and have a little party. We didn't know if anybody would come or not. We were hoping we would get a couple hundred. This was the 100th anniversary party. At 3 a.m. we started getting calls that the TV was showing up. So we had Fox, NBC, ABC, CNN, Channel 2. Everybody came. We put up a website. We got 72,000 visitors from 25 countries in 2 weeks. And it's Guinness Book of Records. It's in Ripley's. It's everywhere. And then Julia Goodrich from Channel 5 TV. We did a book together called Little Light Shines Bright. Then we did another one. There's the bulb. I kind of take all the pictures of it. We have people coming in from all over the world doing movies on it all the time. We even made a movie called Century of Light. If you look close, you'll see that it says on. Or if you turn it upside down, it says no, I'm not. We have a website on it, centenniallight.org. There's the original crew that got together that kind of made it famous. It's in magazines. It's all over the world. It's everywhere. It's in every country. Attaché, that's U.S. Airways. Spirit of America, that's a fast food place, I think. And this is the book that Juliet wrote, and I did the pictures for. There's the pictures. There's Juliet. It's a children's book. She donates all the money away from the sales of the book. There's some of the photos. This is probably French, I guess, or Greek. Greek on the right, French on the left. We have a webcam. You can see us live. If you go to the website, look at the webcam. This party, we were hoping to get maybe a couple hundred people. We had almost 800. We were on television news. We were doing feeds to Katie Couric and Peter Jennings in New York City. We sang Happy Birthday on national TV to a light bulb. And that video of us singing is on my website. There's the cake. We had another party on the 110th anniversary of it. And then when it passed 1 million hours, we had another party. There's the banner up on top. The last film crew that came in was Sandlin from South Africa, and they filmed and made a commercial on it. And we go to lunch. This gal came in from Mythbusters. So I put her in an airplane, flew her around so she could see all the valley from the air, and then took her out. That's us flying right there. Then we came back and had lunch, put her on a ladder, took a picture. That picture ended up in the Independent newspaper. And that was the panel we made for the 100th anniversary. Like I said, it's been burning 117 years now. We had a movie. A friend of mine is the stuntman for Johnny Depp in Hollywood. He came up, asked if he could take a video or make a movie for us. We said, sure, come on. They made a movie. The local Fine Theater showed it for us. We had a sold-out house, and we all answered questions about it. Called Century of Light, and that's on my website. And there's Tom Bramble, Deputy Fire Chief, retired. The book he wrote, 1 Million Hours of Service, and you can find it on the internet. Juliet and I had so much fun doing the book on The Little Light Shines Bright that we decided to do the train of lights. So we went out, did the train of lights. And there we are, and that's our family. We put all of our kids and family in the book. And this is kind of what it looks like inside. It's a children's book. There's our families, wife and kids, and a lot of visuals. My grandmother wrote poetry back in the 30s. I didn't want to lose it. She had about 120 poems, so I put out a book called The Poetry of Mabel Elizabeth Monteith. That's her and my mom. And there's some of the poetry in it. Then I did my wife and I actually babysat 4 kids for 14 years. And when they left, I didn't have anything to do, so I did an aerial photography book. And some of the pictures you saw are in there. Then I had a guy downtown ask me if I could do before and after, so I picked about 20 years and I did the before and after of the valley. And I had a leg amputated when I was around 69 or 70. But you don't let that hold you back. You can see I've only got one leg there, but I'm water skiing, so you can pretty much still do anything you want. In fact, there's the picture with no leg. Still having fun. I sold the ski boat, moving on, trying a few different things, working on a couple new books. And I'm going to show you just one last short little video clip. Hugh Gallion, my FBI buddy, sings beautifully. Anyway, he did a bunch of Christian songs on a DVD, and so I added some of my pictures to it, and that'll be where we end this.
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine, I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes and I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I will do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine, I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. He is able, more than able, to accomplish what concerns me today. He is able, more than able, to handle anything that comes my way. He is able, more than able, to do much more than I could ever dream. He is able, more than able, to make me what he wants me to be. He is able, more than able, to accomplish what concerns me today. He is able, more than able, to handle anything that comes my way. He is able, more than able, to do much more than I could ever dream. He is able, more than able, to make me what he wants me to be. To make me what he wants me to be. My heart, my mind, my body, my soul, I give to you. Take control. I give my body a living sacrifice. Lord, take control, take control. My heart, my mind, my body, my soul, I give to you. Take control. I give my body a living sacrifice. Lord, take control.